Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. I wanted to do another video wander before we lost the ice for the year. It was early March when I filmed this. The snow was mostly gone and the ice was disappearing fast. And the countryside was pretty drab. This is usually a breathtaking little rise to crest, but now not so much. My first stop was the little launch at Glen Haven. Obviously, Glen Haven was the place to be. This is one of a series of little boat launches that stretches all up and down the river. Today we're going from here through to the Bridgeport Landings below Prairie du Chien. As you can see, the ramp was almost as busy as the town. A big rain was scheduled for the next day, including temps touching 60, so I figured if I didn't go to these places now, I probably wouldn't. And I don't know. Even though I'm ready for winter to be over, I'm not really ready to say goodbye either. I'm weird that way. I always find transitions tough, even the ones I'm ready for. Now about this train. Over there on the left. First, I was excited for it to go by, then I thought it had stopped. Then I saw it was actually moving again, really, really slowly, and I was afraid I'd get stuck on the wrong side of the tracks. There are lots of trains stopped on the tracks these days, some of them for days, and with my luck, I didn't want to push it. The next stop was Jay's Landing just before Bagley. A lot of the Corps of Engineers landings have a similar entry. I'll show you some others in another video. They keep you honest, that's for sure. There wasn't much going on here either. But just in case you needed a reminder, this is a no-wake zone. It's always good to have a reminder. I've always liked it here, probably because it has a little something for everyone, including year-round bathrooms. I don't know why, but that always surprises me. I'm not a guy who has too many causes, but I am a big believer that the world needs more picnic tables. The thing about a picnic table, wherever you put it, somebody's going to use it. It's always nice to have a place to sit for a while. I think most people really just use this place for the launching ramp, though. But it's got some nice views of the water. It's nice to see people respecting the no-wake zone. There's also a nice little bit of woods to explore if you're so inclined. Personally, I'm alarmingly sensitive to poison ivy and poison oak, so I keep my distance from places like this once things start to green up. But today it was fun to poke around. Great leaf crunching, too. And daydreaming. I always feel a little like Daniel Boone when I'm in the trees. Man, I loved that show when I was little. Now this isn't the train from before, that was going the other direction, but it shows you just how much trains are a part of our day-to-day around here. Between the trains and the barges that run on the river in the warmer months, we see, or hear, a lot of what makes our economy go. I was a little surprised to see it so muddy. So was this guy. Seems a little confused, doesn't he? Next stop, the Bagley Bottoms. This is somewhere I'd never actually been before. I'm not really sure why. I guess maybe I was saving it for today. Yep, there we are. You can really get a sense of how expansive the river is. I wouldn't say it felt sinister exactly, but it was the kind of place that, with the right soundtrack and the right lighting, might have made for a good haunted forest. Lots of grabby trees and so on. Actually, it wasn't long after seeing this sign about the youth trapping area and thinking about Hansel and Gretel that the ground below me tried to gobble me up. My leg, at least. One minute I was just standing there, and the next, my left leg was missing up to about mid-calf. It still hurts, actually. And it wasn't like it was soft ground, either. It was firm until it just gave way. If I'd have been a character in that movie with the soundtrack we were talking about, I'd have been a goner. Nearly was anyway. I'll blame my limp for scaring off the geese. All except these two. They didn't seem too afraid. Probably too busy laughing at me falling in the hole. The geese would come back, though. They were all around. And I'm sure it wasn't long before the water was full of them again. I love the sound of geese, even when you can't see them. It's a denim, chamois, lace-up boot kind of sound. I'm not a hunter, but I always feel like I should be when I hear geese like this. An old outdoor life kind of hunter with a red plaid mackinaw, a dog, and maybe a pipe. Note to self, never leave your pickles behind. From there, it was a quick hop to the Wyalusing Recreation Area, which is another place I'd never been. It's actually way too crowded for my taste, usually. In the warmer months, it's absolutely packed. Cars parked all the way out to here. And now I know why. It's got a beach. Most of the beaches around here you need a boat to get to. It's a whole thing in the summer. People around here, they take their recreation very seriously. Not quite the day to be out swimming, though, even if it was fairly warm. Some pretty ice, though. There were some geese hanging out down at the far end of the beach, but I didn't have the heart to try to get the shot. I'm sure I would have scared them away like I did the others anyway. Now, on to the Bridgeport Landings. I love the last of the stubborn bits of frozen water along the road. They look really out of place right now. Almost like shaving cream or that spray foam stuff I used to play with in a tub when I was a little kid. The Bridgeport Landings are easy to overlook as you zip on by on your way to Prairie, but it's actually a really great stop, especially right now. The ice on the backwater side was amazing. Some of it you could barely call ice at all. And those bubbles? Man, I could watch them for hours. Wouldn't they make a great screensaver? I did spend quite a bit of time appreciating it all. Watch how the ice goes back and forth from frosted to clear. And how about those rowdy little bubbles to the right of the stump? Rambunctious lot, aren't they? Look. How cool was that? Here's some ice that sunk down below the surface. I'm not quite sure how that happens, actually. Obviously, I have a lot to learn about ice. It was nice to see the flowing water on the other side of the ice. Back home, there were little bits of open water on the main channel, but nothing flowing like this. It wouldn't be long, though. But as far as I'm concerned, the shore ice was the star of the show. I'm glad I got here when I did. I wanted to keep going and get beyond the bridge, but I decided this was as far as I was going to go. After my little incident back at the Bagley Bottoms, I wasn't feeling all that lucky, and I'm not exactly known for my grace on flat surfaces, much less rocks. Isn't it cool how some of the ice looks like wrinkled fabric? Down under the big bridge, this is the Wisconsin River just before it joins the Mississippi. It's more open and usually pretty scenic, but today it wasn't at its best. This time of year isn't really meant for the bigger vistas. In fact, it felt a little sketchy. As I was driving down to this side of the park, a caravan of cars was heading out, and I don't know why, but I got the impression they wouldn't have been all that welcoming if I got there before they left. Still, it was beautiful in its own way. Well, that's as far as I got with this wander. As I said, I was anxious to get in one last winter wander before the end, but typical to a Wisconsin March, and I don't care what Elliot says, April can't hold a candle to March when it comes to being cruel. It was 50 on the Friday I went out filming, 60 on Saturday, and on Monday, we had 2 to 3 inches of snow. I'll leave you with one last little bit of ice and water. There's just so much going on, isn't there? So much movement that's so easy to overlook. It makes you wonder what else we overlook. Anyway, thanks for tagging along, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. We'll catch you later.